I came out here in '69 when I joined the Marine Corps. I went through my basic trainings here, and then I did a tour of Vietnam, came back, and I stayed ever since. So I go home annually to visit my folks. I met Randy in the mid-'70s while I was still in the Marine Corps. I tasted his sense of humor. And that was something that was attracted to me because, I think normally when American Indian males, when they meet, it's how it starts with humor. I remember him saying to somebody that he belonged to a certain tribe. I think he said, the guy said, "I'm Hopi," and Randy says, "I'm sorry to hear that." And, those kind of things. When you're around Randy, he kind of pushes you, and things like that. But that's what Randy's all about. But he's been here a long time in LA and here, and he had many programs and projects here for the Indian community. And a lot of the elders, the veterans, single parents, they benefited from some of his resources. I mean, it never yielded, until he retired. But that's who Randy is, and he cares a lot about the community. And he'll do anything, to help anybody. It didn't matter if they weren't Indians or not. And that's what I saw in Randy. And so the first time I saw him working was El Cortez Hotel. There was a program there for American Indians. And he had his Indian Human Resource Center there. That's where I saw him work. And yeah, he had all these projects there. And I worked with Redbird with the Social Services Department over there, and that's how we got to meet Randy. But I met him earlier during the, when I was still in the Marine Corps, so, I saw him do a lot of things, touch a lot of people, and especially the elders, they really appreciated him because, he was like the main person about cultural revelations, the sacredness of retaining your culture, and that's what Randy was about. He brought that. And I think it started with in Los Angeles when he had the Gourd Society up there that he participated and brought it down here with him. So Randy is a gourd dancer, and I've seen him a lot of the powwows, and I saw him and I went to Camp Pendleton. They usually have gourd dancers for all the veterans up there. So Randy, I would go up there and, with other veterans, and, it became very sincere and personal for me to be attached to him. And you often see me at the powwows beside him, because I was taught to respect my elders. I take care of my elders. So I did that with Randy at the powwows. That's why you see me beside him. Because I usually bring him food, and being diabetic, I watch what he was eating. So I would bring stuff that that he didn't gorge himself with other stuff, bad food. But it's the way I care about him. I started caring more as he got older, and so that was just me, paying my respect to a man that I love. And that's what it's all about. So we got to know each other's family. And he worked with my wife, Suzanne. My wife was a chairman of the board over there for a number of years, along with Joe Renteria. So he worked with Randy, and working with them, and it produced a lot of good projects for the community. And my wife did that same thing with the Urban League. That's where she used to work. So she brought that in to Randy, and together, you know, they produced many more different programs for the Indian community here. But anyway, you know, as a Navajo, we respect everything in life. They tell us that life is sacred. Language is sacred. Teaching is sacred. That's what they teach us, you know, when you're young. And I grew up on the Navajo reservation, and I came out here. Well, actually, I went to Dallas first, and it was a culture shock for me. It really was, because the degree of the way they treated the blacks opened my eyes when I was in Dallas, and my heart just sank. How do you do that? Why do you do that? I do not treat animals like that, but when I saw that, I did cry. And that's, you know, it's something that I learned when I was young. And when you have different programs like Randy did, and you kind of forgive yourself in life. I think that's part of maturity as you go through life, is you learn to accept a lot of things. 3 things my elders taught me was, first thing is respect. The second is tolerance. And the third is understanding. You know, all 3 of those you have to have. Because, you know, if you don't have respect for yourself, you don't have respect for anything else. And that's what I also saw in Randy. You know, the way he was taught. I was brought up in a boarding school, just like Randy did. And we often joked about, you know, the way that the boarding school, you know, kind of like punished their young kids. There was a lot of corporal punishment, and Randy and I know the degree that has taken places, you know, and you still hear reflections of it, you know, today. And Randy knew where he was going and when he was taught. So he accepted and he matured with that. So anyway, what I like to do is say a prayer in Navajo, and then give the song to Randy, because at all the powwows, you know, he asked me to do the invocations. And I thank Randy for that, and we're gonna really miss you, Randy. And I know the powwows aren't gonna be the same as it used to be. And especially me, I'm gonna miss you. You know, we had many humors just between the 2 of us, even at the powwows. And you know, there's no other better friend than Randy. So I truly gonna miss you. And Bonnie, you take care of Randy for us. And you know, I'm happy for both of you.